Oh, shoot, I didn't
Certainty of
actually.
death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Rankum. This is going to be a fun one today. We're talking about Nicolas Cage movies, and this is a redux of a list we did back in 2017, I think was when we last did it. It was really early on this. But I've got a great panel here. Got Jonathan. Jonathan, how's it going?
Is it really Jonathan, or is this Castor Troy? You figure it out for yourself. I'm doing okay. Can't wait to talk about one of our most beloved actors of our time, The Cage, and this is going to be a fun show. Can't wait.
The only way to know if it's really Jonathan is if you do the dumb little face brush thing over my face. That's the only way to truly know.
But also here we've got Tired Chris. Chris, how's it going?
Not bad, man. And Jonathan, remember, it's Oscar winner Nicolas Cage. Put some respect on that name.
Yeah, damn right.
But also here we got Richie. Richie, how's it going?
Hey man, going okay. Yeah, man, I like being on the show. We'll see how if we all come to a consensus pretty quickly. I remember being on the show for about 3 hours once. I think with Jonathan Carroll. Biopics, so that was fun. But no, this will be fun. I love doing the show. I like the concept. So, yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be as long.
Talk about one of the greatest actors of our generation, so you never know.
But last but not least, we got Austin. Austin, how's it going?
Hey, man, pleasure to be here talking about one of my favorite actors, a guy who I never stopped believing in, who I knew was always great, who has always been great, and the audience just forgot about for a long time. But I'm so glad he's back into prominence doing really interesting, great projects.
But as I always do, last week we did Jim Carrey. This is what the Facebook chat thought of our top 12, and this is what the results of the poll was. So for Jim Carrey, like Truman Show, Eternal Sunshine was up there. The Mask, Liar, Dumb and Dumber, Man on the Moon, Batman Forever, The Grinch, Bruce Almighty, Me, Myself and I, and Fun Dick, Jane, and Not a Lot of Love for Yes Man. And
I would have replaced Lovey Philip Morris with Fun Dick and Jane personally.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's an odd one.
I Love You, Philip Morris didn't come up. But anyway,
none of the people have seen it.
I'll get some beef with yes, man, but that's another show.
But talking about not a lot of people have seen, this is what the list for. Last time we did top 12 Nicolas Cage movies, this is what the list ended up being. Gone 16 is at number 1. Adaptation, Raising Arizona, The Rock, Family Man, Kick-Ass, Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, Real Crazy, National Treasure, City of Angels, Book of Secrets somehow made it on, and Face Off.
City of Angels somehow made it on. That's the
I think.
Yeah,
I'm gonna guarantee it's gonna be different.
Yeah,
this is gonna be different. There's a lot of movies that should be on that list or not on that list right now. Yeah, that's for damn sure.
Trust me, the poll was really lit up for that one. So much that I actually had to turn off the comments because they went off the rails so much. But anyway, time to get this started. Jonathan, what is the first movie you're going to bring up?
All right, first off the board. Okay. It's tough going first because there are a lot of good ones, but hey, this is what the show's all about. Let's bring up an easy one right off the back. Let's pick Stanley Goodspeed himself in The Rock. The Rock is one of my favorite action movies of all time. It's very good. The chemistry between Cage and Sean Connery is what makes the film go, in addition to Ed Harris's great supporting performance. It's basically he plays a skilled chemist who lacks an experience in combat training, and it is kind of humorous for him to not experience that combat, but he gets better and better as he goes along, getting all the chips from the rockets, Yeah, The Rock.
Chris, what do you say about The Rock?
I mean, it was on my list, so can't really say much more about it, and I'm refusing to do a Sean Connery impression. But yeah, no, the Rock's excellent. It's probably this. It's high up in the list. I wouldn't take it as my first choice personally, but that is a great movie. Can't deny that. And as you say, the chemistry between Sean Connery and Cage and that is it's brilliant.
Richie, what do you say about The Rock?
Yeah, it's definitely like on there. I honestly thought like I wasn't expecting you to bring that one. Instead, I'll start with an easy one. I was like, okay, yeah. My mind went elsewhere. But The Rock is good. It's probably Michael Bay's best, better movie. And Nicolas Cage is really good in it. I'm not super passionate about it, but I would say yes.
Austin, what do you say about The Rock?
Yeah, this is. I'm a big fan of Dwayne Johnson. I think he makes a lot of. Oh, I'm sorry. We're talking about the movie. Oh, my bad. Sorry. The movie. The Michael Bay movie. This one's the ones that's kind of hovering around. My 11 or 12 spot. So for that, I will give it a yes. Although, as far as Nicolas Cage performances in movies, when we get to the actual rankings at the end of the show, I'm just kind of spoiling it. I'm going to have it more near the end of the list rather than the top of the list, but I'll still say yes.
Son of a bitch stole my line, but anyway,
had to. It's low hanging fruit.
The Rock is a great movie. Somebody PLD's screaming because Ed Harris was brought up as well. Hopefully he doesn't get brought up again, but we will see.
Look, he's a winner. I mean, he screwed the prom queen. Come on.
But The Rock is the first one to make this list. Chris, what is the next one you're going to bring up?
I mean, I'm probably going a lot of recency bias and a lot of me going, he was robbed. I'm going with Pig. It has to be up there. It's part of the Nicolas Cage renaissance that we're going through at the moment. And he says so much in that movie for having so few lines. Like just that scene with the waiter where he's sitting staring at the guy, and you can see, oh god, you fucked. Wait, let's swear in the show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can just see that like you fucked up look in his face, and like just has to look at people and they go, this guy's dangerous for a pig farmer. Truffle farmer, truffle hunter. Don't know what you call them. But yeah, no, it's generally one of his best acting roles, I think, in his entire career.
Richie, what do you say about Pig?
Yeah, this movie is fantastic. I'm glad it's been brought. I didn't expect it to be brought up this early, but I'm glad it did. Thanks, Chris. It's a fantastic movie. Great sort of great. If you're Nicolas Cage, watch this movie and then you understand it's just a great. You understand the renaissance of Nicolas Cage after this because he's fantastic and he's more than just this kind of crazy screaming kind of off the wall actor. Like he can deliver a really good performance, and I think Pig shows that. So yes, definitely.
Austin, what do you say about Pig?
Yeah, this is an easy yes. Pig is very high up on my list as far as Nick Cage's actual performances and his movies. The fact that, I think he should have been nominated for an Oscar for this movie. I think he's absolutely incredible. And the fact that Nick Cage himself has said this is one of his favorite roles he's ever done in his entire career and one of his favorite scripts he's ever tackled. It says a lot that he could just play what's on the surface would be a weird concept of just him, this sort of homeless looking, truffle pig farmer. But it's so much more than that and going after his pig, but it's so much more than that. It's a wonderful movie and it's one of his best performances. So an easy yes for Pig.
Pig would have been an easy yes for me as well. I literally just watched this this week before this because I knew it was bound to come up eventually on this one. Some people may have not claimed that not many people have seen it, but I have seen it now, and I would argue Nicolas Cage was definitely hovering around that sixth spot for best actor. If he wasn't, I'll be worried, but it was definitely a tough acting race last year, regardless. Jonathan, what do you say about Pig?
I mean, I would have taken out Bardem for Cage, in my opinion. But yeah, this is an easy yes for me as well. I echo everybody you said. He should have been nominated. This is I think this deconstruction of your typical revenge movie, your anti John Wick. It is basically a very good film about grief and loss, and Cage does give one of his best performances ever. So yeah, Pig is definitely up on my list. It was one of my favorite movies of last year.
Also, the trailer for that movie completely missells it, by the way. If you watch the trailer, it's completely different from what you get.
Yeah. But Richie, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
I'm gonna bring up an underrated one. I think like he does get a lot of praise for this, but I feel like not many people talk about this movie. It's a very subdued performance. I'm gonna go with Joe. Joe's a really good movie. It's a fantastic movie. Him and Ty Sheridan, and they're really good chemistry. Yeah, I think I think obviously I think people took notice when Pig came out, but I think like there's sort of the renaissance started here where it's like you can prove that Nicolas Cage is a fantastic actor, and and he can play any sort of role. So yeah, if you haven't watched Joe, it's great. So I'll go Joe.
Austin, what do you say about Joe?
This is a tough one because this is kind of in honorable mention territory for me. So, I'm literally on the fence about Joe because Joe is a really good one that should have kind of started the Renaissance, but it didn't really start till a few years later. As far as all timers, again, I have it in that sort of 16, 17 slot. Honestly, I've got other more iconic or driven performances. I'm going to give it a slight no, but I wouldn't be upset if it made it and got yeses. Let's just put it that way.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen Joe, so I can't say anything about it. Jonathan, what do you say about Joe?
I watched a lot of Cage movies this past week for the first time, and unfortunately, this was not one of them. Yeah, I just missed my radar, and yeah, I have to abstain from this. So.
Chris, what do you say about Joe?
I'm completely with you and Jonathan here. I have to be honest and say I've not seen it, so I cannot make a fair judgment.
Unfortunately, Joe does not. Unfortunately, Joe does not make this list.
Yeah, I remember getting good reviews, but just
yeah.
Definitely check it out.
Austin, what is your next nomination? First nomination.
I'm going to go to my favorite genre of film and talk about one that I think was one of the movies that kind of started this more recent renaissance. I'm a horror guy, and I got to go with the horror movie he did a few years ago called Mandy. So I'm going to nominate Mandy. Mandy is an absolute fever dream nightmare of a film, and in the best way possible. It is amazingly shot, amazingly acted. It is a story of again kind of grief, like Pig, but in a whole different way. His partner is killed, and he goes on a blood-soaked rampage. But there's a lot of stuff in this movie where it's Cage rage, but it's very subdued. It's a lot of facial acting, eye acting. Cage is absolutely grounded in this one, and then it gets utterly ultra violent. It's a disturbing movie, but it's a phenomenal performance from him, and I think it's one of the ones that really caught people's attention again and sent him on the path that he's on right now. So my nomination is for Mandy.
Yeah, this is one I tried to find for this, but couldn't, so I haven't seen it. Jonathan, what do you say about Mandy?
Oh boy. Okay. I saw Mandy, I believe, 2 years ago. Yeah. I saw Mandy 2 years ago. My problem with this movie is I felt like it's half of a great movie. And that's in the second half of the movie where he goes on that blood-soaked rampage, for revenge with that awesome chainsaw fight. And in the second, and I wanted to see more of that action-driven film throughout the movie, mixed with a horror. The first half for me, I felt so bored. I felt like I was on a psychedelic drug experience throughout the whole movie, and I just wanted to stop. And yeah, it just, boy, I'm on mixed opinion on this, but it's good. I have it down on my honorable mentions. I actually have it last, and yeah, I'm gonna go a slight no on this one.
Chris, what do you say about Mandy?
Don't know. I'm brokenhearted in this because I agree with every single thing Austin said. Like every single thing you say is completely 100% correct about this movie. But it's just, is it top 12? I'm
Yeah.
just looking at my list and going,
When
is
you
it
guys are bringing up City of Angels later, you're going to be wondering why you didn't say yes to Mandy. That's all I'm
I
saying.
can guarantee you it's not going to be brought up.
I'm just looking at what I've got on here, and would I replace anything? You know what? I'm going to say yes because I can see at least one or two movies out of mine that I probably would put Mandy above now that I've thought about it. I completely forgot about it, but yes, I'm going to go for a yeah.
Which means, Richie, it's on you.
No, it's an easy decision. I'll say yes. It's a great movie. Fantastic. I don't really have anything else to say, but yeah, like I mean, you do feel like you're on a have like the first half you do feel like you're on psychedelics, but you know what? That's fun. So
I saw this movie at midnight in a theater at an art house theater, and boy, did it feel like a nightmare fuel LSD trip in the best way possible. It was the best way to see this
Oh, it
movie.
totally is. It's a complete head trip.
Yeah. All right. Nice.
But
are you showing your hand already with your screen name?
No, I mean, that may come up at some stage. But for my first nomination, I'm going to get this out of the way because I think I know where this is going based on the last nomination. I love City of Angels. I think City of Angels is a good movie. I'm bringing it up.
Oh God.
You're
It has a great trailer, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big drama person per se, but City of Angels is just one that I think I watched it for the first time last year, and to me it was a good movie. And I think Nicolas Cage does a great performance. I think whether that makes the list, I don't know, but I love this movie. I'm going to bring it up and get this out the way. Jonathan, what do you say about City of Angels?
Remember I said that I was not going to bring this up? Because I think it's a bad movie. It's just here. Okay, look, I just didn't think there was a good chemistry between Meg Ryan and Nicolas Cage. I found no chemistry between them until maybe the last 15 minutes. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. I think Cage just gave too much of a creepy vibe as an angel. And they did look like they were part of a Christian rock group with that attire, and that was distracting. But to take away the negative, obviously it's a no. But to take away the negatives of that movie, look, the soundtrack's good. The message is fine, but overall, no.
Chris, what do you say about City of Angels?
I mean, it's not top 12. do we really have to say that? But I would disagree with Jonathan about saying that Meg Ryan and Nick Cage have no chemistry in that film. I think they've got reasonable chemistry, and it's an enjoyable movie. It's not a bad movie by any means. I don't think, but no, not top 12. Sorry.
Richie, what do you say about City of Angels?
I mean, I've sort of shown my hand before, when you put the thing up. But yeah, this movie is fine at best. I don't think, I don't think the chemistry is there between Meg Ryan and Nicolas Cage, and I think that's what you need when you try to establish a romance. I don't know. I would honestly struggle to put it to make top 24, let alone top 12. So I will say no, but I appreciate. You know what? It's ballsy you bring it up, so that's I appreciate that.
And Austin,
Yeah, look, I don't think it's like the worst movie ever. I was just using that as an example of something that stuck out on the last list. It's just kind of an egregious, like, oh my God, like, why is that on there? Yeah, look, it's a mediocre movie. It's one of those movies that I forget even exists when I think about Nick Cage movies, which to me does not make for top 12 material when I'm looking for, a guy's filmography. I want those movies that stick with me, those movies that I think about, off the top of my head that made an impact impact that did something to make it memorable. City of Angels is just one of those Sunday afternoon cable watches. It's fine, but not 12 material.
But with that, Jonathan, we go back to you. What is the next movie you're going to bring up?
I mean, Iris is a good song from the movie.
Yeah.
It's Anyway, so I picked action last time. I'm gonna go kind of a quirky comedy. I'm gonna go with an '80s classic, in my opinion. I'm gonna go with Raising Arizona. I think that if we're talking about chemistry, I think Nicolas Cage and Holly Hunter have great chemistry, great humorous chemistry, in which they want a baby of their own, but unfortunately, that Hunter's character is infertile, and they decide to kidnap one of the babies. So, and it just it's a wonderful, spry little Coen Brothers film that I think it's excellent, and some great supporting players, but I think it's also one of Cage's best and funniest performances.
Chris, what do you say about Raising Arizona?
I mean, it's on my list, so I can't really say much more. Yeah, I'm not even a big Coen Brothers fan. That is one of the few Coen Brothers movies that I actually like. There's like 3 of them, maybe. So yeah, I can't really argue. It's just Nicolas Cage being a blooming weirdo in a lot of ways, but it's Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage and having fun. He just looks like he's having an absolute ball in that movie. But yeah, no, I'd put it in top 12.
Richie, what do you say about Raising Arizona?
I mean, it does say a lot about his resume and his performances that I don't immediately think of Raising Arizona when I think of Nicolas Cage, but it is a good movie. I just sometimes it's crazy. Sometimes I forget it exists. I don't know. It's a good movie. It is a very good movie. I'll show my hand. When you do the ranking at the end, it'd probably be at the lower end, but I still think it deserves a spot on this list. So
Hey,
I'll say yes.
Austin, what do you say about Raising Arizona?
Yeah, I just came to Raising Arizona for the first time this year. It was just one of those weird blind spots I'd had because I'm not a big giant Coen Brothers guy, but we were doing 80s comedies on Tearjerker Fights, and it was one of my blind spots. I watched it, and I had a lot of fun with it. Cage is great. He's absolutely having a blast with the material. I think this is definitely one of his big breakouts from the 80s. I know he'd done like Peggy Sue Got Married, a couple other movies, but I think this is one of his more quirky, fun, just over the top roles, but in the best way. So yeah, I'm going to give an easy yes to Raising Arizona. It's on my list.
Yeah, it's also an easy yes for me. I also came to this for the first time this year, and it's got some great quotes. I'll be taking these Huggies and whatever cash you got. And yeah, that whole chase scene alone was just great. I mean, to me, it's one of those ones nowadays. If you saw someone stealing some nappies from a store, you wouldn't really think a lot of it. You'd probably still get in trouble, but you probably end up just going, "Oh yeah, I'll pay for those for you." But yeah, Raising Arizona is making this list. Chris, what is your next nomination?
Just think of some long, luscious locks blowing in a jet plane's air.
Oh, hell yeah.
Think about a man who just wants to get home to see his daughter. It's Con Air. It's obviously Con Air. If you're talking about the best action movies that Cage has ever made, Con Air's. I'm sorry, Jonathan, but Con Air has to come above The Rock. That is just.
You'll hear my take in a moment.
I look forward to it. That's it. Put money back in the box. Or sorry, put the money down. Sorry.
Richie, what do you say about Con Air?
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about bringing this up for an easy yes because sometimes I have struggled to get yeses on this show. So because I bring up that sort of underrated stuff. So no, I was going to bring this up as a gimme. This movie's bonkers. It's the right kind of bonkers. The cast is amazing. From Nicolas Cage doing whatever accent he's doing to John Cusack is a nice case of this movie. John Malkovich, Dave Chappelle. It's
I forgot Chappelle was in this.
yeah, he's in, it's a fantastic movie, and it's when I think of Nicolas Cage, I think of this, like as it just your kind of like personification of Nick Cage. There's a good amount of crazy, so I'll say yes, definitely.
Austin, what do you say about Con
Look,
Air?
Richie knows how much I love Con Air. It's in my top 64. I love this movie to pieces. This movie is not only one of my favorite Nick Cage movies, it's one of my favorite movies, period. I will not plead guilty. And, just I can do his accent all day. I love it. He's great. He's having a blast again in this movie. I think personally it's my favorite of his three big action movies of the 90s. I love the other ones as well. But Con Air is just so much fun. Such a great ensemble, just entertaining from start to finish. And Cage is amazing. So yeah, it's an easy yes for Con Air. I love Con Air.
Yeah, this is one that I finally got around to watching. I've been typically avoiding it because everyone keeps telling me to watch it. So everyone keeps telling me to watch it. I'm just not going to watch it. But I finally decided to watch because I knew it was going to come up. And yeah, this is a lot of fun. It's already made the list, so I'm going to give it a slight no, just because it's outside of my personal top 12. But Jonathan, what do you say about Con Air?
Okay. It's a stupid movie that I highly enjoy because I love this movie as well.
Damn right. Damn right.
Con Air is, look, I don't care how bad that accent is. He's just going for the ride. Just makes me smile just throughout the whole movie because it knows it's stupid. It knows it. John Cusack's good, but yeah, I think the scene stealer for me was John Malkovich. I think he creates a really good villain as Cyrus the Virus. I think Cage plays off of Malkovich real well. Yeah, I mean Cage plays a genuinely good guy who was just in the wrong situation in the wrong time, and this is a fun 90s action flick, and it's a yes for me. 100%.
I would put this movie in John Malkovich's top 12. That's how great I think he is in that movie.
You double bossed me, Jonathan. You double bossed me.
Yeah.
Also, Powers Booth has an uncredited cameo at the start of that movie as an army soldier at the leaving ceremony. Apparently that's Powers Booth. That's the voice cameo in the opening credits of the movie.
Okay.
I mean, he's not credited for it, but I mean, whether or not it's true or not, because I read it on Wikipedia's thing for Con Air, but yeah. That was that. Richie, what is your next nomination?
I was going to go a different direction, but I'm going to stick with the 90s action side of things. And another movie that knows it's fucking stupid and has fun with it, and that is Face Off. I think Face Off is so dumb. The premise is so fucking simple. But I think John Travolta and Cage are very similar. They can play it over the top really well, and it just works. It's a movie. I know that they talk about remake this movie. I don't think it worked. I think the whole reason this movie works is because those two leads. I don't think this movie works otherwise. But yeah, this movie is fucking dumb, but it's a lot. It's a lot of fun. And it's endlessly rewatchable. So I'll go Face Off.
Austin, what do you say about Face Off?
Hey, you put some respect on Oscar-nominated Face Off for sound editing, okay? It's an Oscar-nominated film, so God damn it. No, listen. No, Face Off is yes, again, another silly movie in concept, in even some ways in execution. But God damn, is he fun as Castor Troy? I mean, it's Jonathan's thing up there. He's awesome. Even from the beginning when he's going up behind the choir and doing his he's just being silly. He's over the top. He's insane. and but then when you think about the role, he's playing a person playing another person to a degree. Like it's such a layered performance he has to do. Play John Travolta, playing Nick Cage. It's a whole crazy thing. So yeah, Face Off is a lot of fun, and he's great in it. So yeah, I'll say yes to Face Off.
Yeah. I love Face Off. And Face Off is just is one of those ones that I did want to rewatch for this, but I didn't get around to it. I just wanted to focus more on movies I hadn't seen of his, because there was a lot that hadn't. But yeah, Face Off is a lot of fun. It's an easy yes for me. Jonathan, what do you say?
He's gonna say no, even though it's his thing right there. No, Face Off sucks. It's awful.
I was gonna say that. Damn it, Leo. I was gonna say. Little bitch stole my line. It's like looking in a mirror, only not.
Not.
Oh. I have got to go. I enjoy this movie. It's a silly, stupid, dumb action movie. Look, yeah, Austin is right. I mean, it is stupid and it is creative in concept, but dumb in concept. But it works throughout the whole film. But it's also it has stakes. I mean, and I bought into it. And yeah, I think Cage is the stronger of the two performances, as he plays both Castor and Sean Archer real well. I think Travolta was the weaker part. But yeah, I think Cage really sells his performance quite well. And yeah, it's a easy yes for me on Face Off.
Chris, what do you say about Face Off?
Oh no, it sucks. It's a horrible way to get it all. Fucking, what do you think I'm going to say? Everything that everyone else has said. It's. I actually genuinely did not like this film the first time I saw it. But in fairness, I think I was like 12 or something. I'm one of the older panelists. And then watched it again and went, oh, this is actually amazing. Yeah, it's an easy top 12. There's no debate there. Apart from, Jonathan, I will disagree with one point about when John Travolta walks into that house when he's talking to the wife.
Yes.
He is fucking scary at that part. I was actually terrified. I'm still kind of a bit scared of him at that point. But apart from that, yeah.
But Austin, what is your next nomination?
I'm going to nominate a movie he's a supporting character in, and he's actually completely owns the role. He's doing an homage to another actor, and he's really great in it. He completely owns it. Kick-Ass. I'm going to nominate Kick-Ass for his role as Big Daddy. I think he absolutely owns the part in this movie. It was a complete surprise. I didn't even really know he was in the movie going into it. He completely does a Adam West Batman, 60s sort of thing. Just I rerouted your IP address. Finding you was way too easy. But then he also actually kicks ass in the role in those action scenes as Big Daddy. And I completely buy him as this sort of superhero. He steals every scene he's in. He's absolutely fantastic, and it's another movie where he's just absolutely having a blast. So I'm gonna nominate Kick-Ass and see what the panel thinks.
But yeah, I do like Kick-Ass. I think Nicolas Cage is good in it. But unfortunately, for all the new movies I've seen of his, it kind of bumped Kick-Ass out of my personal top 12 for me. So I'm going to give it a slight no, but wouldn't be upset if it makes the list. Jonathan, what do you say about Kick-Ass?
Oh man, I hate to say it, but I hated this movie. I really do not like this movie.
Wow.
Cage's performance was actually one of the few good things I liked. He actually gives a good performance as Big Daddy. But I never bought into the love of those movies. Even the first one, it didn't work for me. And I just wanted to think, I thought to myself, like, I wanted to be over. And yeah, I hate to say it, but it's like 100% no to me.
Chris, what do you say about Kick-Ass?
I want to say no, but once again, I'm looking at my list and going, is there anything I would knock off for Kick-Ass? And there is at least one movie I would knock off for it. And yeah, no, he is great in that role. You actually buy him as that weird psychotic father figure. you don't want to like him, and you realize that isn't a weird relationship that him and Hit Girl have. But yeah, it's sweetly touching. So yeah, I've got at least one film that I'd knock off my list for it. So I'm going to say yes.
So once again, it falls on Richie. Richie, what do you say about Kick-Ass?
Oh my god, really? This is like tournament fight.
You know he's good in it, Richie. You know how damn good he is in that movie.
He is really good in it, and he's like, I guess we should have called you Ass Kick. You know what? Fuck it. Yes.
All right, son. That's right. There you go.
Kick-Ass.
Wonder what my number 12 is going to be.
Just wait till you see what I've knocked off my list for that.
But Kick-Ass does make this list, and it's on me for my next nomination. I'm going to go for this one because this is one of his underrated ones that no one really talks about. And this is all credit to Anthony Tisdale because like when I was looking for panelists, Anthony was one of those people who I asked, but I said, "Is there anything you want me? I think I should try and watch for this if I can." And this is one he mentioned, and it's Bringing Out the Dead. It's Martin Scorsese directed, and this is one that is that when I watch it, it's just really good. This is one that once again, it's another one of those weird ones that's on Disney Plus outside of the States.
It's weird. Australia, New Zealand have a weird thing like that. It's just there's so many weird things that pop up on Disney.
The two non-Americans here are like, yeah, we get to see shit that's not on other networks.
But yeah, it's one of those ones that. But basically, Bring Out the Dead is about a paramedic who's not saved any patients, and he begins to hallucinate the ghosts of those that he lost. And it's one of those ones that is really good because I believe he's looking for this Red Death heroine, and the season it's kind of. Yeah, but you got a lot of great performances. You got Patricia Arquette, you got John Goodman, you got Ving Rhames, Tom Sizemore, Cliff
Mark
Kirk.
Anthony is awesome as Noel in that movie. The guy who's obsessed with the water with the dreadlocks. He's fantastic. He steals that movie. He's great. He's great.
And the late Michael K. Williams is in this as well. But it's just really good. Jonathan, what do you say about Bringing Out the Dead?
Wow, that's a tough one. Yeah, that was so last year's featured presentation challenge. That was one of my picks for. I forgot what it was for. I think it was for. I don't know if it was New York movies or 1990s, but I'm not sure. But this is an underrated movie from Cage and Scorsese. Basically, your hospital version of Taxi Driver. In a way. So I mean, basically tackling demons and seeing what's going on the street, and partnering up with three what do you call it? Medics, I guess. Medics. John Goodman, Ving Rhames, and Tom Sizemore. They all have different behaviors. One's religious, one's violent, and one is just kind of caring. But boy, that's a tough one. Oh boy. I have it down in my honorable mentions. I hate to say it, but I'm going to say a slight no to this one.
Chris, what do you say about Bringing Out the Dead?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, until you brought it up, I completely forgot about this movie. But the more I think about it, once again, I'm just looking at stuff was there anything I would knock off my list for this? And yes, honestly, there are movies I would knock off for this. I'm going to go for yes. I never thought I would say that,
Really?
but yeah.
Richie, what do you say about Bringing Out the Dead?
Yeah, it's a really underrated movie. I'm surprised. Like maybe I wasn't listening, but did you bring up that Cliff Curtis in this movie? You should probably bring up those. You know, you're a Kiwi. You should bring
Yeah,
up
yeah.
Cliff Curtis.
He's good in it. I like
Yeah,
him.
yeah, like he's really good in it. But yeah, this movie, I honestly didn't think about this either. But yeah, I think it definitely deserves a spot on this list. So I'm also going to say yes.
Austin, what do you say about Bringing Out the Dead?
Yeah, I was doing 2 rewatches today, just ones I hadn't seen in a minute, and one of them today was Bringing Out the Dead, and I was reminded of how great this movie is, how great Cage is in it as this really sleep deprived, stressed out, hallucinating, burned out paramedic. He's fantastic in the movie, and all the people around him are great. Yeah, it's both a Nick Cage movie that people kind of forget about, and a Scorsese movie that people forget about, and it doesn't get talked about enough, and it should be brought up in both cases. So yeah, Bringing Out the Dead was on my list, so I'm going to give it a yes.
Not angry about it. I mean, it was a tough call for me to put on my.
But Jonathan, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
I had to. Boy, after that kick-ass one. Oh yeah. Okay. Do I go with my heart, go with nostalgia, or go with another great movie? I'll go with my heart. I'll go with nostalgia. I'm going to nominate National Treasure.
That's what I thought you were going.
The first one. Yeah. Look, I'm fond of this movie. The first movie, it's a great adventure. Getting the treasure. And do you know what he has to do? He's going to steal the Declaration of Independence. I mean, hey, when he delivers that line, that's awesome. It has a good cast. Him, John Voight, Diane Kruger, Justin Bartha, Christopher Plummer, Sean Bean. Yeah, I mean, it's a good cast, and I have fun with it every time I watch it. When I was asked about a Cage Film Festival, like the top 5 movies for Nicolas Cage, this was one of my 5, and because I just have a good time from beginning to end. So, National Treasure.
Chris, what do you say about National Treasure?
As sad as it sounds, it's actually on my list as well, just because the exact same reason, Jonathan. It's just such a fun movie. It's just good fun. It's critically panned. A lot of people think it's just a bad movie, but it's just, as far as I know a lot of people that don't like it. I look at it it's like if the Da Vinci Code was fun. Didn't have as much flagellation. Weird.
It's a guilty pleasure, but I don't think it's as fun.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a guilty pleasure. But nope, 100%. Yeah, I'd put it in my top 12 just for pure fun factor.
Richie, what do you say about National Treasure?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly didn't have as much fun as other people do. I get why people like it. It's just not really. Maybe it's just, I went into it. It's not really my sort of thing. I acknowledge Nicolas Cage is good in it. But I'm gonna go slight no here, but I won't be mad if it makes it.
Austin, what do you say about National Treasure?
Can't lie, it's on my list too, and I think it's one of his best big blockbuster films. It's a great family blockbuster, and he's great in it. It's one of his last big budget great movies, and yeah, I think he's actually got a lot of charisma in this role. I feel like I totally buy that he's into the subject, that he has all this knowledge. Like I buy that he's like a fanboy of history and all that. So I'll give a cheers to National Treasure by saying to treason, which is what these men were committing when they signed this document. There you go.
Well, I mean, it's no book of secrets.
Just read you can if you want. Look, it's fine.
But yeah, no. This is one I remember that last time we did this list. I was a big hell no on this because I did not like it. I actually gave it a rewatch. But I rewatched both this and the sequel. It kind of moved up for me. It's not a bad movie. It was going to be a slight yes for me. So it does make this list. Chris, what is your next nomination?
3 spots left. Get down to it.
Oh god damn it! This is hard now.
Yeah.
Do I go with one that I actually like, or do I go with the meme pick? I'm going with meme pick. You're all going to hate me. I'm going with the Wicker Man.
No.
Oh, fuck you. What other film will you see Nicolas Cage dressed in a bear suit punching a woman in the face and having a helmet full of bees put on? If you did not have fun with that movie, it's a horrible movie. It is terrible. It is objectively awful, but it is so much fun. I'm getting voted out here. I know immediately. I know no one else is going to vote for it. I'm voting for it anyway.
Also, I
Like,
wish I
the
could
YouTube
put up.
comments.
I wish I could put up the comments on the screen from the private chat. But Richie, what do you say about the Wicker Man?
I say a lot of things. Look, if we're doing a top 12 guilty pleasure Nicolas Cage movies, this would be at the top of the list. But we're doing best, so we can be ironic about it if we want to. But I'm not going to. It's it's a no. But I'm saying you have fun. But yeah. Look, yeah, okay, it can't be on this list. Sorry.
Austin, what do you say about the Wicker Man?
No, because, and I'll tell you why. And look, and again, I enjoy Wicker Man. Again, I'm a horror guy. I enjoy Wicker Man as the remake for how much guilty pleasure, fun, batshit craziness it is. But I also genuinely love the original one, and I have a lot of love for the original Wicker Man. So the fact that what they did with this remake, it tarnished that kind of stuff. So look, even Cage is like, okay, yeah, that movie sucks. Like even he said that movie sucks, and he's not good in it. So no, look, if we're doing a silly list, a wacky list or something, that's fine. But no, not for the actual top 12. So I'm gonna say no.
But my responses to this is just simply not the bees, not the bees. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't rewatch the entire episode from when we did this last time, but I think this also came up then and got a. But yeah, it's a no for me. I haven't actually watched the whole thing. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I haven't seen the whole thing. But it's also just there. I kind of do want to watch the whole thing at some stage.
Well, see, if you've
Jonathan,
seen the whole
what would
thing,
you
you'd
have said
agree
about
with
the Wicker Man?
Boy. Look, Kick-Ass is a masterpiece compared to The Wicker Man. You picked the worst title with the word man in one of his movies. And I was surprised when I did my research. He started in a lot of movies with man in the title. But I digress. It's not really good. I mean, I watched the original Wicker Man for the first time last year for a horror marathon, and the Wicker Man, the original one, is really, really good. Good try, Chris. That's all I have to say.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That is true. That is true. But Richie, what is your next nomination?
All right, I'm gonna bring out I think he might have got nominated for. I'm not sure. But it's a sort of it's a very meta movie about Charlie Kaufman does his movie and is tasked to adapt this book, and he couldn't do it, so he just decided to make a movie about the trouble of adapting the book. And then Nicolas Cage plays Charlie Kaufman and his brother Donald Kaufman, and I think he's really good in this. I understand it's not for everybody, but I think he's fantastic. I think Meryl Streep is great, and so I always champion this movie whenever I can. So I'm going to say adaptation.
Austin, what do you say about adaptation?
I watched Adaptation for the first time this week. It was one of my weird blind spots of Nick Cage that I hadn't seen. But yeah, and it's one I'd been meaning to get around to, so this gave me an excuse. And Adaptation is great, and he's awesome in it. Playing both the dual roles, and especially him playing the moocher brother, the slacker moocher brother who's like a wannabe. He wants to make serial killer movies. It's a serial killer movie, but I Silence of the Lambs meets whatever he says in that thing. Like, yeah, he's ridiculous, but how neurotic he is in this movie, how much anxiety he has. He's a hypochondriac, you name it. But he's absolutely fantastic in the dual roles, and it's one of those things. It's like, without the action, it's like the better version of Face Off in like the dual role thing. So it's like Face Off without John Woo, with him playing two parts. So, but yeah, Adaptation is great, and it should definitely be on this list.
Yeah, another trend I noticed when I was going through Nicolas Cage's filmography he's been in a lot of one-word title movies as well. Two of which have already made the list, but Adaptation is great. This is an easy yes for me. I also watched this for the first time this year, and it's one of the and I believe that when this was nominated for screenplay, it's the first time a fictional character was nominated for a screenplay category at the Oscars, because obviously credited in the movie is Charlie and Donald Kaufman, and so that's what they were credited as on the Oscar ballot too. But Jonathan, what do you say about Adaptation?
So remember last time I was deciding between nostalgia and greatness? This was the greatness Adaptation. This was my next nomination, actually. This is an excellent movie with one of his best performances. Yes, he was nominated, as he should, in a very competitive race that year. I think Brody won that year, Adrian Brody. Yeah, I think his performances are very subtle regarding like facial qualities and behavior, and Spike Jonze does a fantastic job of making it distinctive, as seeing who is who, what behavior is what behavior. And also, yeah, you got to credit Charlie Kaufman for creating a very original, idiosyncratic script. And yeah, not just Cage. I think Meryl Streep gives one of her best performances. Chris Cooper deservedly won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Yeah, this is 100% yes. This is a great movie. I love this movie.
And Chris, what would you have said about Adaptation?
I mean, I've really got nothing to add here apart from the fact that Ebert, when he wrote about why Nicolas Cage is one of the greatest living actors, this was the 8 movies he quoted. And yeah, nothing to say that. And especially playing dual roles is very difficult. There's very few people that can pull off playing 2 different characters in the same film and make them both believable. And yeah, it's an easy top 12, yeah.
But yeah, I'm not going to spoil his new movie because I don't know if everyone's seen it. But I will say that I don't know if anyone's been nominated for playing themselves, but I think Nicolas Cage should be nominated next year.
We have a long year to go.
Oh, I forgot that.
That is true. But Austin, what is your next nomination?
Yeah, this is tough. I'm debating between 2 because there's one that should be on this list, and there's one that I also think should be, but it's an underrated, fantastic movie that more people should see. I just don't know if enough people see it, but you know what? I'll shout it out and give it some love and see what happens, even if it doesn't make the list. I'm going to nominate 2005's Lord of War. It's one that I rewatched again today. And Lord of War is a super underrated, criminally underseen movie from 2005, where he plays this guy who gets into arms dealing. He becomes like a merchant of death. He's dealing with all these different sort of dictators and warlords and regimes and things. And he's absolutely incredible in this movie. He gives great both performance, a great voiceover. It's just a really, really good movie that not enough people have seen. So I don't know if everybody's seen it on this panel. I'll have to see. But even if it doesn't make it, I really want to champion Lord of War. More people should check it out. And he's wonderful in it. Jared Leto's great too in the movie if you want to see another good Jared Leto performance. But Ethan Hawke's a lot of fun in it too. So I'm going to nominate Lord of War and see what happens.
I don't think I'd ever hear the phrase Jared Leto is good in something.
Hey, he's good in that. He's good in Requiem for a Dream. He's got good roles. So you just have to find him. But he's really good in this movie. Yeah.
But yeah, but that being said, I haven't seen Lord of War. It is on my list to watch when I get around to seeing it, but I didn't have a chance this week. Jonathan, what do you say about Lord of War?
Okay, it's a good movie. It's an underrated good movie. Boy, if it had been brought earlier, we have 2 spots left. Yeah, I think we forgot one on this side though. Because there's one that I think people are going to be shocked that it's not on the list yet.
I know what you're talking about. That was the one I was debating on, if I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So I was debating between that one too. I just wanted to champion something at least before I still had a shot.
Lord of War should. Yeah, everyone should check out Lord of War. It is a good movie. I think it's directed by Andrew Niccol, who did Gattaca.
Yeah, he did Gattaca. That's why Ethan Hawke's in it. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say no, but I do recommend the movie. It is a good movie. Yeah, check it out.
Fair enough.
Chris, what do you say about Lord of War?
I'm gonna be honest. It was on my list. So yeah, as you say, it's very underrated. It's another one that I didn't like at the time. The first time I saw it, then I saw it again and went, "This is a really good movie." And yep, it's on my list. So I'm saying yes.
Once again, it falls on Richie. Richie, what do you say about Lord of War?
Going through his filmography, I think there was definitely. I think we've sort of mentioned all of the great works, and that there is definitely one that will probably come up soon. It's a glaring one, but we'll get to that. If you let's go down his list, the one that sticks out that we haven't brought up is Lord of War. So, and I think it's a very underrated movie. So, I'm going to say yes.
Hey, there we go. I'm the champion of the borderline. there you go.
The people's champion, you might say.
But yeah, if it's the one I think it is, it was one of the glaring missions from the last one that was.
That's what I mean. We can't omit it again. I feel like it has to make it at least this time for the last one, but we'll see.
But we've got one spot left. Unfortunately, I've not seen that said movie yet. You'd think I would have learned from the last one, but it just wasn't available anywhere for me. So I'm going to try for an animated movie, and while I do love him in Spider-Verse, that's not the one I'm going for because, in Spider-Verse, he's not really in it much. I actually rewatched it
Teen Titans.
Today.
You fucking nominated Teen Titans, aren't you?
I mean, I will now if you want me to. Don't give me ideas, Austin. Otherwise, I'll take your idea and actually do it. I'm going to go for the Croods. Look, I think
easy.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nicolas Cage is actually pretty good in the Croods. And just rewatching it, just some of the lines, my name is Greg, I've got a rug, just stuff like that is just so Nicolas Cage. It's just such a lot of fun. He's done a few animated movies, but I think the Croods and the sequel are both really good, and I think they are legitimately good animated movies. I think they are good. I wouldn't be too upset if they don't make this list. But Jonathan, what do you say about the Croods?
It's a cute movie. But I'm gonna go no. Because I think we have one spot left, and I will bring up one other movie that should merit consideration on this list. But it's a good movie. I think it's a harmless animated film that families should check out. So, but no.
Chris, what do you say about the Croods?
I mean, honestly, I thought you were going to say G-Force for a second.
I thought you were going to say Ant Bully.
Sorry, Malcolm. No. No. And first, I've not actually seen the movie, so I can't even say yes or no. So, no, I'm going to abstain. Full stop. I've not seen it, so I can't.
Richie, what do you say about the Croods?
Yeah, it's a no from me, but it's a cute movie. But I feel like we're in a sort of do thing now because we only got one left, and we're just waiting for someone to bring up the one that's omitted into. But but yeah, look, it's a fine movie. It's maybe a bit underrated, but yeah, it's a good movie. But yeah, not on his top 12, so I can say that.
Austin, I think I know what you're going to say because I know how you feel about animated movies.
Just easy no. Easy no. Sorry, I got nothing else to add. Easy no. Jonathan, bring it home. You know which one we're talking about. Just bring it up. Let's just bring it home.
Jonathan, what movie you going to bring up?
Do we? I don't have any
Look,
idea.
Man, because two of these movies that made the list, it pains me because we're gonna omit one of my favorite movies, favorite rom-coms, and someone brought it up that it's overrated, which is not. But of course, I have to say Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, it's one of the most rich, colorful, vibrant animated films ever made. And yes, Cage does have a small supporting part in this movie, but he plays it well as Spider-Man film noir. And he plays it off real well. And I think it's a comic book masterpiece. Not just one of the best comic book movies ever made, but one of the best animated movies, probably one of the best movies ever made as time goes by. But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Chris, what do you say about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
People in the fucking comments are going to hate me because I'm going to have to say no. I love the movie, and I think Cage is great in it, but in terms of the top 12 Nicolas Cage movies, I would not put it up there. If it was it's probably my top 20 movies, full stop, but not in terms of Nicolas Cage. I hate to say that. As I say, people are going to castrate me in the comments, but it's a no for me, Jonathan. Sorry. I mean, you might fly to Scotland and castrate me as well, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's not the movie I thought you were going to bring up either.
Yeah, it's not the
me,
movie.
to be honest. I got a whole other one in mind.
Yeah, same with me. That's not the one I thought you'd bring up.
Richie, what do you say?
Is it Recommend?
Look, going through the list, I'm like, oh no, yes. I'm like, yeah, like Spider-Man's going to be admitted because they bring this other one up. But yeah, and he's really good in it. I want to I kind of want to see a spin-off of the Neo Noir Spider-Man. I think he's really he's fantastic. But I don't necessarily think of Nicolas Cage when I think of this movie a lot of the time. There's a lot that there's a lot going for it where I think like Nicolas Cage's performance is just sort of there. So unfortunately I love the movie, but I'm also going to say no.
Austin, what do you say about Spider-Verse?
You know, it's funny. It's easy for me because I don't like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Send the hate my way. I don't like that movie. I'm not a fan of it. I wasn't a fan of it in theater. It gave me a migraine, and I didn't think the story was particularly that great either. Just for me personally, I know I'm in the minority. Same with a lot of the recent Tom Holland stuff. I'm just not a fan of it. So it's an easy no for me because I don't like the movie. So sorry. Send the hate my way. Don't send it Chris's way. Send the hate my way. It's all on me. I don't like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Apart from Jonathan at this point.
Don't blame me in the comments.
Blame me. Blame me. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I mean, I like Spider-Verse, but as I said, like I would have still given this a no, just for the fact that I do like him in Spider-Man, right? He is a really small part of that movie, and I think I know the one that people are referencing. Let's see if Chris is going to bring out that movie.
I'm not allowed to nominate the Wicker Man twice, am I? Oh God! Oh, I've got a couple on here. What do I go for?
There's one really freaking obvious omission. Just bring it up and we'll take this home and start ranking.
You don't have to. I'll bring it up if you don't. You bring up what you want.
Yeah. I know Richie will.
No, do you know? No. Oh God damn it. Okay, I'm going to bring up one that people wouldn't think of as a Nicolas Cage film, but he is good in it, and I think it's a very important film because of the geopolitical time it takes place in. I'm going to bring up Snowden. He plays the FBI agent in it. And I'm not bringing it once again. I'm probably gonna get fucked off here, but I'm probably getting told nah. I did like when he came on screen, and I thought he did that role well. And just because of the subject matter it tackles, I'm just gonna say Snowden. I should have said Vampire's Kiss, but screw it.
Richie, what do you say about Snowden?
I would actually, I would probably more lean toward. I mean, I'd probably still say no, but I would lean towards it more yes if you brought up Vampire's Kiss because that means fucking bonkers. But Snowden, I don't think. I mean, it's one of those movies I forget Nicolas Cage is in because I think it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt's movie. I think he's the best part of this movie. So no.
That's totally fair, to be honest.
Austin, what do you say about Snowden?
Snowden just left me cold. I think it's an okay movie. Gordon Levitt is okay, but here's the thing: when I was researching my own list on here and putting it together, I forgot he was in Snowden, which that for me means it doesn't make top 12 material if I completely forgot he was in the movie. Just for me personally, like for it to be on this list, he has to have made some kind of impact on me and really sticks out in the movie. So I think Snowden's okay, but I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I haven't seen Snowden. I actually haven't heard good things about Snowden, so it's kind of why I've been avoiding it. But just like Austin, this is one that I went through. This is one that when I was going through my list and making my private letterbox list of Nicolas Cage, like this one came out, I was like, he was that. But Jonathan, what do you say about Snowden?
Yeah, Citizen 4 is a better movie about Snowden than Snowden. Yeah, Austin said everything I was going to say. It's just an okay movie. And no.
Richie, what is the movie?
We always vibe, Richie. Just bring it home. Bring it home. You know what I'm talking about.
Let's move on.
Thank you. Jesus Christ. The one who won a fucking Oscar for should be on this goddamn movie. Goddamn list. Thank you.
Yeah. This movie's great. He won an Oscar. Yeah, like I'm sure everybody else will kind of fill more details. But yes, it's weird that we got to like the end of the episode to bring this up. But yeah, he's fantastic in it. Definitely. This definitely should be on the list. So yeah, it's just one of me.
Austin, what do you say about Leaving Las Vegas?
Yes, for God's sakes, yes. This is the one I was debating bringing up between this and Lord of War. I just wanted to champion Lord of War, and I didn't know if I'd get another chance to another go around other than the honorable mentions at the end. Yes, he won an Oscar for this goddamn movie. It wasn't on the list last time. It should be on the list this time. So we have an obligation to do so. But yeah, the movie itself is actually really good. I rewatched it again this week. It's great. He's this dejected, out of work, alcoholic, gambling addict, sort of guy who's just ready to end his life in Las Vegas. And he strikes up this romance with Elizabeth Shue, who's a prostitute out there. But they have really great chemistry. He's fantastic in the movie. If you really want to see like a really good grounded Cage performance with like a few moments of craziness, but like not over the top, but like in the best way. Go watch Leaving Las Vegas. It's really, really great. So easy yes for Leaving Las Vegas.
I haven't seen Leaving Las Vegas, and part of that reason is because of the vitriol and hate I personally got because it didn't make the list last time. That is why the comments had closed on that poll. I mean, seriously, you can just search through the Take 3 production and find out.
At least it'll be on the poll this time. People can vote for it, so if they love it as much,
depends on me, right?
Wherever it ranks, it's fine. It's on the list.
It will depend on either you.
It depends on Jonathan or Chris. You guys better put it on the list, or we're going to get really shredded. Not just for Spider-Man for that.
But Jonathan, what do you say?
Actually, do you want to go to Chris first, then come to me last?
No, you're in order, mate. This is on you.
Bless you. I guess. It's 100% yes. He deserved the Oscar. He deserved the Oscar for his courageous performance as an alcoholic. Because even though it is tough to predict where he's going to go, you know that he's going to still drink throughout the whole film. The question is like, what's going to happen to him in the end if you had not seen it? But it is a courageous, tragic performance that, he definitely won the Oscar for. He deserved it. And yeah, it's a great film. Yes.
And Chris, what do you say about leaving Las Vegas?
I've got nothing to add apart from what I said at the start of the show. You put some respect in that name. That's Oscar winner Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's a yes. It's literally one of his best movies. You can't say no to that.
But with that, leaving Las Vegas does make the list and closes out this.
Couple of interesting titles on the 12 list.
Yeah, there's a couple of unexpected.
Yep.
11 plus 11 good ones.
12 good movies. I agree. 12 good movies.
You all voted the Wicker Man off, so I'm just saying, anything that makes this list that's not good is your fault.
Austin, what honorable mentions did you have?
I just had two other ones that I would have brought up as possibles. I think Matchstick Men is really underrated as well from the 2000s, and that is definitely an underrated movie, kind of in the same vein as Lord of War. Like, not enough people have seen it or gone back to it, but it's also a Ridley Scott movie, which a lot of people don't know, and it's really good. And it's him and Sam Rockwell. It's great. People should check it out. And I potentially had on the fence David Lynch's Wild at Heart. I think he's really great in that movie as well. Kind of basically playing Elvis, even though he's not playing Elvis. He sings Elvis songs throughout the movie. He's doing his accent, playing Sailor. Like he's really good in that movie as well. I rewatched it this week. So just that, Wild at Heart and Matchstick Men would have been my other possible nominations.
But yeah, for me, some of the honorable mentions I had, like they were on the list last time. World Trade Center is one that I really did like from him. Gone in 60 Seconds, I think is fun. But ones I actually watched for this, Snake Eyes is a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun movie. And there's another one that I had heard nothing about that was randomly on Disney Plus for me over here. It's a movie called Trapped in Paradise. It's a sort of Christmas movie. It's an interesting movie. But I kind of enjoyed it. I'm going to try and find a synopsis of it, but Jonathan, what honorable mentions did you have?
Yes, so for this year's featured presentations, one of them was Nicolas Cage, and I chose Matchstick Men, and that's a really good movie. That is definitely an underrated movie that people should watch. And yeah, and also I watched Wild at Heart for the first time. If you like David Lynch, you'll like this movie. I was devastated that Moonstruck did not make the list. I love that movie. So. And then three others, The Family Man. I like that movie.
That movie's underrated. I like it.
Christmas movie. It Could Happen to You it's a nice movie. And one I just saw last night, The Weatherman. I think that's a really, really underrated movie that I think Cage's performance really excels to heights and balances his comedy and drama quite well into his character. So. But yeah, that's it.
But yeah, the synopsis for Trapped in Paradise is: residents of a friendly Pennsylvania town foil three brothers' plan to rob a bank on Christmas Eve. That's the short one. You've got Nicolas Cage, Don Lovitz, and Dana Carvey together in a movie.
That is a weird cast.
It really is. To make it weirder, those are the only three known actors in this movie.
You're saying Dana Carvey as a known actor? That's.
But Chris, what honorable mentions did you have?
Funnily enough, Jonathan, I did actually have Wild at Heart very high on my list, and I don't know why I never brought it up. I know. I'm pissed off now that I didn't bring that up.
Yeah.
If you had brought up that instead of The Wicker Man, I would have said yes.
Me too.
Well, the other two I have, the other two I have. Well, I've got the meme pick, which is going to be Vampire's Kiss because, of course, it is. The other two are from the Renaissance. I have Color of Space.
Yeah,
I like Color of Space a lot. Yeah,
I'm a big H.P. Lovecraft fan. It's one of the few good Lovecraft adaptations that's ever been on screen. And also had Willy's Wonderland. Just.
Ooh.
Don't get me wrong, it's stupid as hell, but it is fun. And he never says a word during that film, which is the best part.
Yeah.
Richie, what honorable mentions did you have?
Yeah, I feel like people have brought up most of them, but yeah, Matchstick Men, really good movie. Willy's Wonderland. Yeah, the only other movie I bring up that hasn't been brought up is a bonkers movie called Mum and Dad.
That's a fun movie.
That's
It's
a
a
fun
fun
movie.
movie.
I
It's
kinda
great.
like
Yeah, it's like they get possessed to kill. The parents get possessed to kill their kids, and yeah, he's really good at yeah. It's a fun movie, so bring that up. But yeah, other than that, all other movies sort of been mentioned really. Yeah,
But yeah, some that have come up in the chat. We've got Honeymoon in Vegas.
Yep.
The Resume which has been brought up. Peggy Sue Got Married.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Like Garden Test, Drive Angry.
Like Garden Test. Drive Angry.
Drive Angry is a great guilty pleasure, fun bad movie. It's a really fun like action movie. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Am I getting 8mm and Snake Eyes mixed up?
kind of. I get them mixed up. They came out around the same time.
8mm is
Like
about
the
the
same year?
snuff film. Snake Eyes is the boxing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
8mm is the De Palma movie, I think. And
No,
then Snake
8mm
Eyes
is
is somebody else.
the Schumacher movie.
Snake
Oh,
Eyes
yeah,
is
that's
Snake
the
right.
Eyes is
Palmer
the
movie.
Palma movie.
Oh, okay. See, I get them mixed up. they're easy to confuse.
I can just show you the opening scene of Snake Eyes,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you can see who directed it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with that, we time to get onto the actual voting of this. Going to write down on a bit of paper or whiteboard, whichever is handy.
I just want to let you know too that you've missed out Kick-Ass in the chat.
Let me see. What have we got?
I mean, I was hoping you would remember it was going to be there. But just in case.
Actually, I actually like that Bringing Out the Dead made it. That's a
Yeah, it's a nice pick.
But because I know what Jonathan's got, Chris, what do you have at 12?
At 12, I'm putting Lord of War. Nice.
Richie, what do you want at 12?
I have The Rock.
Austin, what do you have at 12?
I'm going to surprise Jonathan because it's a supporting role. Kick-Ass. My pick.
I've also got Kick-Ass.
Thank the Lord.
Jonathan.
Kink
Hey, guys.
Because he's a supporting character. He's not the lead.
You know what? That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah.
All right. Now, okay. This is tough. Yeah.
Richie, what do you have at 11?
All right, I'll just say mine because I was about to change it. I'm going to say Lord of War.
Austin.
Only because it's my least one I go back to out of the three, The Rock, out of the 90s.
Connie. Jonathan.
Lord of War.
And Chris.
I think we're all swapping around here. I put Kick-Ass, but only because I forgot. But only 'cause I
Kick-
forgot
We just
to
had
mail
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass number one.
Yeah, Kick-Ass has already made. Kick-Ass has already made it. It's
Oh, shit,
come on to 11. Yeah.
So is it Lord of War then? Because Lord of War
Yeah,
had two.
Lord of War then. Yeah.
Good movie.
Hey, I'm glad I got it on the list. I'm so glad I shot my shot for it. Like,
I need
I'm
to
so
rewatch
glad
that
to be on
movie.
the
It
list
is a
even
good
though I'm
movie.
right.
I need to
It's
rewatch
really
it.
good. I rewatched it today. It was great. I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, right.
I like a lot of these movies a lot, so this is hard. All right.
But Austin, what do you have at? What do you want at
Number
10?
10, it sounds like a good place for National Treasure.
I'm sticking with Connie. Jonathan.
Mandy.
Chris.
I'm going with Bringing Out the Dead.
Richie.
Is it down to me? I said Mandy.
Oh,
Mandy
that's all right.
at 10.
It's on the list, though. Yeah, it's on the list.
It's a good film.
It's a
If
good
you're
movie.
on a ton of drugs.
I watched it sober. I thought I was on drugs.
I was going to say, you
That's
felt like
great.
you were on drugs, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, based on sort of what everyone's said about it on Kip, as soon as I can find it somewhere to watch, rental somewhere, I'm going to watch it. But for number 9, I am sticking with Con Air. Jonathan,
It's a shame.
National Treasure.
Chris,
Yeah, I'm going National Treasure as well, to be honest.
Richie,
National Treasure.
and Austin.
Make it an almost sweep. National Treasure. There you go. All right. Now let's get a little tougher.
Yeah.
Now let's get
There's
tougher.
one
Now
more.
let's get tougher.
Then it gets tougher for me.
Okay.
Fun fact on my personal list: National Treasure is exactly 9 on my own list.
It worked.
Jonathan, what do you want at 8?
I have a joke for my
Bringing Out the Dead.
Chris, what do you want at 8?
I'm going to put down Leaving Las Vegas.
Richie,
The Rock.
Austin,
Dwayne Johnson. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant The Rock.
I'm sticking with Con Air here, but The Rock is going to be 8.
Be honest, I forgot the Rock was on there. I would have put it down as well.
All right. Let's see.
Surprisingly, I don't think Nicolas Cage has done a movie for The Rock yet.
You know
Give it
what?
time.
I want
On a long enough time.
Oh, I don't know if I would
enough
mind.
typewriters.
I mean, he's on a good streak.
Yeah, don't ruin it. He wants to work with Ari Aster. Let him do that first.
Fast and Furious.
Yes,
The
that
Fast
would
and
be
Furious is going to go on long
amazing.
enough that everyone will be in that eventually.
He wants to work with Ari Aster and Christopher Nolan. Let him do those first, and then he can work with The Rock. All right, let's go.
But Jonathan, what do you have at 7?
I'm still sticking with Bringing Out the Dead.
Chris,
Do you know what? I'm going to agree with Jonathan here. I'm just going to put down Bringing Out the Dead.
Richie,
Bringing Out the Dead.
Austin.
Fair enough. I would have gone Face Off for number 7.
I'm sick of Con Air, but Bringing Out the Dead is going to be 7.
You can stick with that one for a minute.
You can stick with that for a long time. You know what I mean? You know, I feel like.
I mean, it means I don't have to erase my board. I can just focus on making the banners.
Sorry, it gets really hard now.
Yeah, it gets kind of hard for me.
But Chris, what do you want? Just to remind everyone what is left, we've got Pig, Raising Arizona, Con Air, Face Off, Adaptation, and Living Las Vegas. Chris, what do you want at 6?
Funnily enough, as much as this pains me, because it's probably the better film, I'm saying Adaptation.
Richie,
Face Off.
Austin,
Face Off.
Con Air, Jonathan.
Chris, prepare to make a decision. Con Air.
So, Chris, Con Air or Face Off at 6?
I
Right
hate
thing.
you all. I hate every single one of you.
Isn't this the quintessential question of humanity right here? Con Air or Face Off? Or the eternal question.
I graduated in philosophy, and this is literally what they teach us about.
Weren't they the same year? 97? The Battle of 97.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to say Face Off, just because I like Con Air more.
Okay, that's.
Oh, I hate you all
Yeah,
for being
97.
Oh,
Wow.
this really hurts.
Mm.
I think this is the perfect spot. What?
Nicolas Cage is eating no more peaches today.
I kind of think I know what Stephen was meaning. I'm not too sure. But I think it was because I think I'd gone seconds on the last list on my board a lot of the time. But it's something that ended up number one. But Richie, what do you have at 5?
Adaptation.
Austin, what do you have at 5?
Just because I haven't seen it as much as the other ones, adaptation.
Con Air, Jonathan,
Con Air.
Chris.
Adaptation.
Oh,
Oh.
It's not a slight against the film. It's just I prefer Nick Cage being Nick Cage.
So can you give me a recap? What do we got left?
Pig.
Pig, Raising Arizona, Con Air, and Leaving Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Right.
Oh. Pick the one day stops smoking crack.
Okay, Steven, we're on the for the first time tonight, we're in the same agreement.
But for 4, I've got Con Air, Jonathan.
Con Air.
Did y'all skip me?
Chris.
Raising Arizona.
I'm not going to get any specific order. Richie, what do you have it 4?
Okay.
Raising Arizona.
Austin.
Leaving Las Vegas.
So Austin, Con Air or Raising Arizona?
Con Air or Raising Arizona? Oh, I love Con Air. Let's go Raising Arizona.
Oh, God.
Yes, I love you, Austin. I love you.
So Con Air, Pig, or Leaving Las Vegas. But Jonathan, what do you have at 3?
Con Air.
Chris.
Leaving Las Vegas.
Richie.
Leaving Las Vegas.
Austin.
Leaving Las Vegas.
What the hell?
Oh God.
All right, Steven, I forgive you about the Moonstruck thing now. Ay, ay, ay.
But this time we put down a number 1, which is a Pig or Con Air.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I knew that was right.
Alright.
So number 1.
All right.
Right, Richie, what do you have at number 1?
Con Air.
Oh shit, we're picking
So
number
what
1
do
here.
you have at Austin? What do you have at number 1?
All right. The fun's over. His actual best performance is Pig.
Okay.
Pig, Jonathan.
He should have been nominated for an Oscar. Pig.
Fair enough.
Chris.
Fair enough.
Oh, God damn it, I've written down Con Air, but I really want to say Pig because it is genuinely the better film. Yeah, Pig.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Con Air to number 2. I'm happy with that.
Too high. I like Con Air a lot, but
It's perfect.
wait.
It's perfect.
I did have Con Air written on my board, but I'm like,
It's his best action movie is Con Air, so it should be number 2.
No.
But yeah,
On
I'm just waiting for Jonathan to do a swerve. Like he should be nominated for an Oscar for this. Con Air.
Con Air. Well, I almost went with a swerve and bent. We should really give his best performance Con Air. Yeah, I almost did it. But no, I didn't do it. So no, I didn't do it.
But just to recap, before I go over the top 12 for this list, this is the top 12 for last time. Once again, so Gone in 6 Seconds, adaptation, Raising Arizona, The Rock, Family Man, Kick Ass. Once again, get rid of that.
Book
banner,
of Secrets. Jesus.
Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, Real Trade Center, National Treasure, City of Angels, Book of Secrets, and Face Off is
Gone in 60 seconds.
Gone in 60 seconds. Number 1. Number 1.
I mean,
Number 1? What was on that panel? Oh my God!
I will tell you off here, but I mean, it's one of those ones. Like I think Book of Secrets made it on last minute just because things like Leaving Las Vegas and there's one other big.
Nobody had
omission that
watched
didn't
his
make-
good movies. Is that what it was? The last panel didn't watch his good movies. So yeah, I get it.
Well,
They only watched his
there
mainstream
was a,
movies.
There was a,
His
there was a few
blockbuster
movies.
movies.
There was a few
Yeah.
movies that didn't make it. Leaving Las Vegas was one of the ones that didn't make it on just because people hadn't seen it. But yeah. But with that being
I
said,
like
this
Con
is
Air. It's. I mean,
but
again,
that being
not
said,
the Blu-ray.
this is the top. But that being said, this
Good.
is the top 12 Nicolas Cage movies as judged by Tonight. At 12, we got Kick-Ass. At 11, we got Lord of War. At 10, we got Mandy. At 9, we got National Treasure. At 8, we got The Rock. At 7, we got Bringing Out the Dead. At 6, we got Face Off. At 5, we got Adaptation. At 4, we got Raising Arizona. At 3, we got Leaving Las Vegas. At 2, we got Con Air. And number
Yeah.
1 is
Yay!
the lesser seen Pig. I think Jordan
Pig.
Anderson might be
Pig.
happy about that. But that being said, Jonathan, what do you have to plug?
Well, first off, look, this is fun. This was a fun show. This was a fun episode to be a part of, celebrating Nicolas Cage as he's sort of on a renaissance. Yeah, you could find me on the social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Instagram and Twitter. Instagram's Cinecaro, CINE_CARO, as well as Letterboxd. Twitter, John Caro 4, JONCARO 4. And yeah, I'm not playing right now, but hopefully coming soon. But yeah, again, this was a fun episode. I'm glad to be part of this.
Chris, where can people find you online?
Tomorrow night on Classic. Apart from that, I have no social media presence. I am a mystery. But yes, Jonathan, yeah, I agree with Jonathan. Yeah, this was a fucking ton of fun. Generally, one of my favorite actors, and I do not say that ironically or sarcastically. Genuinely love him.
Richie, where can people find you online?
Yeah, you can find me on. I'm on the Movie Hero Network. Jordan Anderson's one, and I've got a podcast on there with Jacob Barber, Jordan Owens, and sometimes Austin. Yeah, every Thursday, just called the Lonely Marks, just talking about wrestling. I think this week we're going to do our kind of sort of dream backlash card, but based on all the using matches from all the other previous backlash pay-per-views. So that should be fun. And yeah, and like I think the next time I'm on Tournament Fights a lot. Next time I'm on there, it'll be Tuesday, I believe, at the top 64 of Papa West. So that should be fun. Yeah, and I'm also on John Owens' channel, PS Wrestling Co, just doing movie and wrestling trivia, and yeah, I'm around. But yeah, that's just fun.
Austin, where can people find you online?
Yeah, I'm a frequent co-host over on the Movie Hero Network. We do tournament fights, tier ranker fights, and tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing a Doctor Strange tier ranker prediction show. As far as the cameos in the movie, we'll just be rating what percentage we think of some of these cameos will be. So that should be fun. I think Malcolm's on that show. We're gonna have fun with that. And so tournament fights and tier ranker fights will both be this week. And also Henry Confidential and I do a ranking show called Let's Rank Stuff, where we just rank whatever we want. This week we'll be doing a belated 420 show because we just did PTA movies last week, but we'll be doing Friday versus Harold and Kumar, all 6 of the movies in a big ranking, so that should be fun. Yeah.
Can I be on that?
And we just did the 2 of us, but we might have a guest on occasion. But yeah, but it's fun. Yeah, all 6 of those movies in a big ranking. That'll be fun.
But you can find me on Rankum hosting. You can find me on Tape Free Productions hosting Rankum every Saturday night. Next week we're doing some more classic stuff. So vote on the poll for which either classic director, actor, or classic comedies you want the topic to be next week. And But yeah, you can also find me on the Movie Hero Network. I think I'm also on Papa Rest Top 64 this week, as well as the prediction episode. I think we finally settled on the time of 6 p.m. Eastern.
6 p.m. Eastern, 9 Pacific. Yeah, tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Just hit the bell notification on Movie Hero Networking. You'll know when we go live. So yeah, let it easy.
And you can also find me on the Take 3 Productions Facebook group, where you can find me educating people on why the Godfather trilogy is better than Back to the Future.
Yep,
but
I'll join you on that.
By the way, Malcolm's objectively wrong. The people spoke, Malcolm. You made the poll.
Oh yeah, 3 Pacific, whatever. 6 p.m. Eastern.
And yes, Stephen, that is part of the reason why I decided to do more classes. There's not really I think the only big movie that's coming out is a Barry Levinson movie called The Survivor, which has
There's a
been
Liam Neeson
Foster
movie
as-
coming out.
Yeah, they already did Liam Neeson a few weeks ago on a Liam Neeson episode. He did it like 2 months ago or something. Yeah.
I mean, I was considering doing something with Martin Campbell instead, but there's probably a lot of New Zealand movies people have not heard of. But that being said, until next week, see you, and yeah,